Well, well, well. If it isn't the holidays, time to get together with friends, people you know, maybe people you don't know or don't like, but for business and social reasons, you do have to see them. And that creates an anxiety all its own. And there is a fascinating article by our good friend Sim Chabra from Horizon Within called Office Christmas Party Anxiety When ChatGPT Isn't Enough. And isn't that the case? And Sim joins us today on True Picture Love. Sim, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. You bring up a fascinating topic. I have a function I have to go to in about 10 days. I'm not terribly looking forward to it, but it's a business related thing. It's an obligatory thing. So I'm going to go put on my best face, hang out for a bit, eat some food, and okay. But I'm not stressed or anxious over it. But from your article and your research, there are a lot of people that are freaking out about those kind of social situations coming up over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I was doing my research, and also, when I work with clients, because I work with a lot of anxiety management issues, this whole back to work mandate that's been happening over the last year, what I'm noticing with clients is that the dreaded Christmas party hangout. And what's different now than from times past, and there's two things. One, a lot of people work from home, so it was easy not to go for the last 3-4 years.
Absolutely.
So you worked with the company, but you didn't have to go to the social events. Now, because of this back to work, there's this hidden expectation of attendance, and it's gonna interfere or it may impede your growth, or they may come across as you don't want to be a team player. And so that's driving the anxiety trigger. But the aspect of hanging out with people and work events have never been pleasant. Didn't matter whether it was pre or post COVID. So I'm kind of like, that's what I'm noticing a lot happening. And that's why I decided to write this article, because people are going to ChatGPT and then prompting in, what do I need to do to manage my anxiety? Or, how can I survive a Christmas party? And the main takeaway is that it gives you tips, but it doesn't work through why you're feeling what you're feeling and what you can do to regulate that.
Well, and I'm fascinated by a certain section that you brought up the example about using ChatGPT AI to answer questions before going to the office party you maybe not want to be a part of, Sim. Will I look composed? Will it look bad if I leave early? Do I appear committed if I don't attend? And a lot of people have that, but I guess I'm naive to just how all pervasive ChatGPT and AI is entering our society, that people are turning to that to answer those questions.
Because it gives you a platform of non-judgment. And it feels safe. And that's where the drive is. So if you look at it through, like, say, a generational lens, right? Like, so, if you work it across, so you have your boomers all the way to Gen Alpha. We all have to experience the Christmas party. How each generation uses ChatGPT is a bit different. So for example, if you take the baby boomers, right? For them, it was norm. Going to Christmas parties was a norm. Getting comfortable and doing that, it was the norms of society. Got a bit of an eruption during COVID. So for them, that question is more prevalent, because it's like, will I be noticed? Because now all of a sudden they're like, I don't want to go to a Christmas party. And then you work your way down to your millennials, right? They didn't experience that many Christmas parties pre-COVID. So for them, it's more like, what do I do? How do I act? What do I say?
What if I leave early?
Yeah.
Should I be laughing? Should I be quiet?
What if C-suite comes in? How do I go and approach them? Blah, blah, blah. So that's where this ChatGPT is very personal. Because now the boomer is going more like, do I need to go? What can I do? Versus the millennial, who has no reference point, and they're actually taking the cues that ChatGPT is giving them, what to say, how to be.
So my first thought is, if I'm going to an office Christmas party with a group of people, there may be a few I'm close with, but a few I'm like, whatever. I show up. I have some need. I'm social for a little bit. Then I do the, oh, I got to run. Happy holidays. We'll see you
Yeah.
next year. And you make an appearance. You have something to eat. You engage a bit. But if you don't want to stay too long, you don't. I that's how I always thought. I always viewed it. But I guess I'm missing the part, Sim, that there's a big segment of the population that brings on a whole sense of anxiety that doesn't happen to me.
True. And it's more in the youngers. So
Mhm.
you're looking at people that are, that got into the workforce. So you look at right around COVID,
Right.
right? So they got introduced into the workforce, but they didn't get introduced into the office social culture.
Because there was none.
There was none. And now all of a sudden, they have to be introduced to an office social culture with a expectation of showing up. Pre-COVID, it was like, yeah, my dog was sick, or like, and it worked because people knew.
I got to pick up my mom at the airport.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, look at the time, it's 7:30, it's bedtime, and you'd get away with it.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's also that people don't have direct experience, or they just got on boarded with a new company, and they were work from home, and then all of a sudden now they're work from office, and so it's those elements where this becomes a dependent clutch, and because it's so prevalent, like anything is ChatGPT it, Google it, look it up, and a lot of people are going there, and they're not taking the time to actually understand that it's just a skill that they have to um, learn or develop.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't recommend the article highly enough on Horizon Within. And it ties into something that happened with one of our daughters. Our oldest daughter was being involved in a work function, and she works in a lab. She's very studious. She was unsure. And we just said, sweetie, just go for a little bit, hang out, just have some need. And then turns out she had the time of her life. And now she's going to host the event with some of her other workmates because she had such a good time. And she hadn't been in an event like that because of COVID, as you said. And my partner said, sweetie, just go for a bit and hang out. And she ended up really enjoyed it, ended up realizing she has a lot in common with these other people that she didn't understand at first till they were in a social setting. And now they've had a couple of gatherings together. So I know that ChatGPT is doing this, but where is the mentor, parent, maybe older friend influence in pushing someone to say, you know what, just go and try it for a little bit. You might have some fun.
It's individual.
Okay.
Because some of us have a social structure or have a home structure that allows us that. A good example of where that would answer that best would be a new resident or a new migrant, if I
Absolutely.
could say that.
Yes.
Or it could be even somebody that moved from another province.
Because
Right?
different cultures, different customs.
Or even, you say, you got relocated from Vancouver to Toronto, and you don't have that social network that would nudge you out, and you don't have a personality that allows you to be like, let me be explorative, because social cultures tend to be a little bit more punishing for deviant behavior versus private
Hmm.
functioning.
Hmm.
So like, say for example, you're a new resident of Toronto, and you're like, I want to go to the pub or go to a social hangout and get to meet people. It's different than I have to go to a work environment and meet people.
Right.
So the common element is something new, but because the environment is got a consequence, the avoidance and the anxiety becomes that much greater.
Right.
And because the anxiety and avoidance got that much greater, my dependency for will I be, what do I do, how can I, becomes that much more necessary.
Because you may think Susie in accounting has it in for you, but then you end up somehow going to the function and realize Susie in accounting's not that bad after all. And maybe it was all in my head.
Right. Or you could be Susie in accounting that doesn't like talking to people and know that people have assumptions of you because you're from accounting.
Right.
And now
And quiet.
Right. Right.
So I find this fascinating too. And the article just make a good distinction that therapy is relational and personal. And there is something so impersonal about going into your smartphone and using your smartphone and TikTok and ChatGPT for your therapist? Because how could they get that interaction? Because I could imagine sitting across from you and you're reading my body language, listening to my words. You might have something completely different to say to me than what my phone does.
Right. Because that's one thing that I wish people would kind of like take with a grain of salt is it's giving you impersonal information. It's giving you data points. It's not taking the time to go, okay, like say for the example that we, whether it's your daughter or whether it's somebody that's just resettled in Toronto, if they're sitting across from me, I can take the time to understand, oh, you just moved here. Well, that makes sense. It's a total valid point.
And a different mindset, right?
And your sense of nervousness is different. So like say, for example, you know, uh, it's either one and they're sitting across from me and they kind of go through that thing. If you look, I'm nervous, da, 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 what do I do? How do I go about it? And I usually tell people, you got to learn how to break the ice. And humor is one of the easiest ways to break.
Right.
And with Canadians, we are very good at humor. And Canadians have a very dry, like, overt kind of sense of humor. And actually, I had a client that was kind of going through that. And I go, everyone congregates around the food table. It's guaranteed it's there, right? And we kind of like role played a bit. And I go, just have your solo cup and kind of like make eye contact and take a sip or two and then make eye contact and go, this could have been an email. Just say that. That's it.
That's really good.
And I go, I guarantee you're going to get at least one laugh.
Yes.
And that's all you need because now you've cut the air.
And create a conversation point, right?
Because everybody's like, I don't want to be here. Everyone has the same common element. We just may not have the ability to express. And what you did is you just sliced the tension right through. And you said something that is relevant and comical because it's like, this could have been an email.
Well, especially at this time of year, Sim, they're like, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I got to get ready. Everyone's under the time crunch. And the deeper into December goes, the more pressure to get everything done. So they're probably all thinking that.
Right. And they loved it. And in fact, they just had their Christmas party this past weekend. And I have a follow-up appointment with them this week. So it's going to be interesting to see just kind of like, and I have a feeling it's going to be kind of like what your daughter experienced, where all of a sudden it'll be like, oh my God,
I can't wait till we have the, the Easter get together.
Yeah. Baby from HR actually is not that
bad. Speaking to Sim from Horizons, the other thing I enjoy about it is it shines a light, Sim. I know my kids are younger, so they're into TikTok a lot. And I did a search, #mental health on TikTok, and there is page after page. I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole in either people giving Cracker Jack box therapy on social media and TikTok. And I think the work that you do as a professional, you might have to do some of that because a young person would go down this TikTok rabbit hole thinking they're getting their therapy or ChatGPT. It could be totally wrong for what they need.
I am so on the same page with you because it turns into like being armchair psychologists.
Oh yeah, okay.
You see, and from a professional lens, what makes it harder for me is that now you're coming in with a predisposition, which you have validity to. It's one thing to come with a sense of reasoning and questioning, but it's another to come from a sense of belief. And the way one of the best ways to bracket it out is again looking at it through generational lenses, right? So what I notice is when people go on ChatGPT or Google, they're looking for something about themselves. They want to get to know themselves a little bit, right?
Okay.
Like, I mean, that's your prompt, right? Like whether it's the Christmas party, what do I do to manage being in an environment that is professional, but I'm not comfortable in? So if you look at it from, the big picture is I want to know something about myself. Then when you kind of like funnel it down a little bit more, you're going, okay, where can I go to find about myself? In our times, you went to Chapters, you looked at a self-help book and you kind of read a book and you did that. You fast forward in time, it went to just generic Google, fast forward further in time, and now we have Gemini and ChatGPT. So that's your middle. The bottom, which you just mentioned, is you have people that are like creating word salad, right? Affirmations, self-care. No, self-care is important. Authenticity, boundaries,
Safe space. That's the one that triggers me.
oh, FOMO, like that's that one, like
Oh, I
you know what I
hate that.
mean? Like
Yeah. But
negative,
social media is full of it, Sim.
right. So if you look at like the ones that really create the stir, right? So like I was able to kind of like, okay, what do I hear more often, right? Authentic self.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because there's that quest to what is an authentic self. Imposter syndrome,
Ah, yes.
right? And my favorite, fake it till you make it.
I was taught that.
Now you put those three together, right? It's a vortex. What is an authentic self?
Well,
What
that's a
is
good question.
what is an imposter syndrome? How do you know if you're being an authentic self? Then how does imposter syndrome come into being? And if you're faking it to making it, then how do you know you're authentic? Because you've faked it to become. See that?
Yeah.
Right.
Real quick, I was just taught that, hey, if you look like a professional, act like a professional, eventually you could develop and evolve into a professional.
Right. So I'm going to take it one step further now. And you look at that trifecta through generational lens. The boomers, like we're more Gen X, right?
Yes.
So the boomer now went through this, fake it till you make it, right? Authentic self,
Mhm.
imposter syndrome. So that's constant with everybody. For them, now when they go into TikTok and they look at it and they're like, maybe I'm behind on times. Maybe I missed the boat. Maybe I
Hmm.
didn't get this right. Right. You jump one more generation, you go to the Gen Xers, right? Same three, same trifecta, same source. They're more like, how come I don't have my life together?
Oh,
You jump one more, you come to the millennials, right? They're like, I better get my life together. You jump one more, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials,
yes.
right. Then the millennials, they're more like, well, everybody has their life together.
Oh,
Gen Z, well, you know what? I need to get my life together. I need to be an authentic self. I don't need to have imposter syndrome, and I want to be authentic while I make it, right? So that's your Gen Z. Your Gen Alpha, which is your newest generation, which is completely AI and chat driven, they're like, I better be the perfect being because if they find out who I am, I don't know who I am, but if they find out who I am, it's not going to be good for me.
oh, really?
So it feeds very differently into each generation. So as a therapist, I have to find that first. So then I can understand where is it that you feel that ChatGPT or the issue that you find is true or not. So if you're like, say, Gen Xer,
Yes.
we can have a conversation and then now we can look back and go, okay, but look at your accomplishments. Look at this, look at that, look at that. And now all of a sudden you could be like, well, you know what? I am real because my achievements are real. And then you can update your file and saying, I don't need to tell myself fake it to make it.
Hmm.
I don't need to fake anything. What I need to now do is go, how do I authentically, now your authentic self has value because you have genuine experiences that validate it.
Sim, I guess my question for you, your depth of knowledge as a therapist, is the technology, the smartphones, the chat GPT, the social media. Am I right to say that it affects some people more than others? Like I see some of the stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I hear other people that they get really deep into this and they can't pull themselves out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a lot of times we're looking for validation.
Oh,
And it always boils down to validation. It, this is where you need a person working with you versus ChatGPT validating you.
mm-hmm.
Because ChatGPT doesn't have a way of discerning life experiences, doesn't have a way of taking the time and going, hey, what makes this individual have such a high need? Because we all have a need for validation.
Yeah, it's human nature, is it not?
It's human nature. Because it's a feel good thing,
Right.
right? It's a natural feel good thing. So, but some of us have a higher dependency on that versus some of us that have kind of like worked through it. A good example, and I'm not saying this is accurate. I've seen more of it is people that play sports in the younger years are more accustomed to disappointment. than those that don't play sport.
That's right.
I'm not talking about the new where everybody gets a medal. We're
No.
not here to um, decide or determine. I'm just saying in general, you are more adverse to disappointment because that's what playing sports are about.
You're going to lose once in a while.
Right. And it's how do you rebound from it?
Right.
So psychologically, that's what you look for is more experiences that you've had where you've learned to rebound from. It's easier for you to reference to. Then you don't make it personal. You become a little bit more informative. You become a little bit more inquisitive. You take that discerning hat versus someone that hasn't had, right? And we all have unique life experiences. And that's what my role as a therapist is to understand your unique life experience, your unique world outlook, and then go, okay, where do we need to have a conversation?
Hmm.
Where would we need to then say, okay, let's look at it from a different, right?
Interesting. To get more details, horizonwithin.ca to speak to Sim about his professional, what he can do for you as a therapist. I guess, you're from your years of experience, you think you've seen and done it all, but even at your level and your level where you're at, Sim, who do you speak to when you have a question?
So I have someone that I go and
Oh, okay.
have an appointment with at least once a month,
Mhm.
right? And it's not about oh look, I have a problem, whatever. It's genuinely like for personal growth, right? But I'm also under supervision. So I meet with my supervisor twice a month and
Oh,
we go over my caseload. We go over some of the challenges that I may have, um, some of the things that I may need to develop on. So there's this continuous personal appointments. And then there's the supervision where I'm sitting down and we're discussing and we're coming up with, okay, how would I have looked at it from a different lens, or what would I have done differently in this scenario, or you know, I'm hitting a roadblock with this specific issue, and I just don't know how to get around it. So that's what we do. That's what I do.
and the reason I bring it up is we have this society where we're like, get active, get your steps in, get your heart moving, stay healthy. We need to also have a parallel translation to that saying also maybe talk to someone once a month,
Yeah.
maybe speak to someone. You may think you're fine, but it's almost like maintenance for your car.
Yeah.
Like it's just you don't know, like there may be something there you don't know is happening, and it'll help you from like live your life every day.
You bring up a very good point because one of the misconceptions people have, and it's like, well, do I need to get into my past? Do I need to get into my childhood? Do I need to? And you necessarily don't. There are certain times where it necessitates it. Shop, go, like I offer a 15-minute consult. You can go online, book an appointment. We can have a chat if you feel, hey, you know what? Yeah, I can work with you, or you know what, you can help me address what needs to be addressed.
Mhm.
Okay. Or you could be something that has a little bit more of an underlayer going, look, like I have this continuous issue or I struggle with this. And we find the root of it. But at the same time, can I also develop, a tool that will allow me to then have function? And that's usually where my mindset comes from is I need to give you a tool that you can work with. And once you have found a way to work and create baseline or stable,
Mhm.
now if you want to explore something deeper, absolutely. But you have something you can work with that will allow you to then decipher what it is that you want to do. So, to give you a very good example, aside from the joke of this could have been an email, because you got to read the crowd, right? If you're a bunch of C-suites, you can't stay.
No.
So, to help them get out of their mind space, you heard the cliche, right? Well, look at it from another point of view. Well, what is another point of view?
That's a good question.
Right. So I'll show you something that I impart with my clients with. Have you ever heard the concept of parallax? The word parallax?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Right, through astronomy,
Yes.
right? So for the listeners, parallax is basically what astronomers use to measure distance of stars, right?
Mhm.
And if you would you mind kind of like exempling it out, and if I can walk you through it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I would like you to do is have your thumb out, and then have me in center, right? Close one of your eyes. Put your hand over one of them
Okay.
to a point where I'm blocked out.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I'd like to keep that eye open,
Okay.
and I'm blocked by your thumb, correct?
Yep.
Now I want you to move that hand that's covering your eye to the other eye. No, but keep the thumb so I'm blocked.
Yep.
And now your hand that's on your eye goes to the other eye.
Okay, like this.
Yeah. So see, I've shifted.
Oh, yeah, it's way over here.
Right. So I call that red light, green light.
Oh, right.
Red light.
Yeah.
Red light. You can't see me.
Yes.
Green light.
That's way over here.
You can see me.
Yeah.
So what I tell them mentally is whatever you're dealing with, if it's blocked, red light. Shift perspective. So mentally, I work them through where they mentally then go, another perspective. Green light, which means thoughts are flowing. And now they can discern the noise in their mind, where it could be, well, what if, to what can.
Right. Right. And then this is, to me, the best thing about what you do, Sim, is it's so easy to understand when you explain it. Because I think there is a perception, a lot of people like, I'm just, I don't have great education. They're going to be speaking words and talking about terms, and I won't understand it. It's not going to help me. But anyone can understand what you just explained.
Yeah. So that's what when I'm working with clients, that's what I bring to the forefront. It's kind of like working with them
Mm-hmm.
and meeting them where they are, and then going, okay, what would you need there to have what you need so you can go and function?
To an office
X
party.
value,
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
right? Because most of the time it's that, how do I engage in society?
Right.
It somewhere fundamentally it's an interaction I have to interact with. It builds anxiety. Starts when you were young, just like how, when you said with your daughter, right? Like
Mhm.
she's in her mid-20s,
Yeah.
but her response was equally apprehensive as she was when she was young, because the mind went to something new.
Oh.
Now as a parent, as a support person, as a partner, whatever environment structure, they feed into it and say, here's your nudge. It's the same there. It's the same as getting them on the slide when they were 4, because it's a mental thing. These are natural loops. Now, some people may have had an adverse experience that inhibits them from accessing. So that's why I give them a tool that is something more neutral and something more present. Once they're stable, they got function, like this person being able to go to their party on Saturday, which is important for them.
Absolutely.
Right? But they went with 2 tools. They went with something internal, red light, green light, because I can't control the noise in the mind, but I gave them a tool for them to differentiate it, right? But I also gave them an icebreaker they could use that will allow them to then not be the center of it.
Interesting. Sim, the article is so good on Horizon Within, and you brought up 2 points: the COVID and ChatGPT. Is it the fact that COVID and the lockdown and everything came at the worst possible time with the prevalence of AI, ChatGPT, or is that just coincidental? Or are they all just sort of meeting to conspire? A lot of people in this generation, in this society, are turning to their phone instead of a human being to get their therapy.
Mix, I would say, like chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because we can't say if AI was going to crest itself in 2025.
Right.
Because we didn't know where there was conversation about it. So, but there's a greater attraction to it
I see.
because of a social trauma that we still don't understand what we experienced.
Really?
Think about it. We were locked down for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, I guess.
And then what happened one day? Things were back to normal.
Okay, just go ahead. Yeah.
Right. And we kind of like adapted, but there was no like understanding of it. And none of us want to go back to decode it. But it's affected, right? Like, I know it took me a good year to be socially comfortable in large crowded
Even
areas.
you? Really?
I'm a human being.
Oh, no, I know.
But I mean, like,
have you got so many red lights, green lights going for you?
Well, no, I mean,
Okay, that's interesting.
right? Like,
Yeah.
so like going to a Raptors game,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
for me in 23, I was like, I don't know if I want to be around 20,000 people in February.
Right.
Because it was imprinted. But then using the tools that I kind of share with others, I then said, I have to reintegrate into society because that is part and parcel of being in society.
Hmm.
Yes, I can be more mindful, I can be a little bit more like if somebody's unwell or whatever, afford that, or more vitamin C, better health. Like, what things can I do that are personal to me that allow me to have? You're going to get sick. Do I have to be fearful of the same as 5 years ago? I can bring rationale in. This is where personal help comes in because
Yes.
I'm a human. I have my journeys. I have my experiences. Just because I'm a therapist doesn't mean I'm immune to.
That's a good point. No, yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes a therapist more human, is if they also acknowledge that we're dealing with emotions.
And have some of the same pitfalls that the client may have.
We all have the same pitfall.
Right.
We just process it differently. That's the most unique aspect that I bring to every session is we're the same. We just may do it differently. And because I come from a professional lens, I can pick certain things quickly because I've been trained to pick those things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or to recognize a pattern and then to have a conversation about it and say, okay, how would you like to do it? And then we always work with what tool would you need so you can function? Then we can go back and say, okay, what will we need so you're not crippled by it?
Sim, how long will this trend of using AI, ChatGPT, to answer mental health questions continue?
This is with us forever.
Oh,
It's you got to look at which generation is going to adapt to it the most, right? The responsibility also sits with the people that provide the information. So, like, you can't simplify trauma. You can't simplify anxiety. There are no quick fixes. That's what scares me, is the number of followers a lot of these accounts have,
yes.
these influencers have. And, I'm not coming from a position of opinion, but I'm coming from a position of observation and working with people and understanding the complexities of it. And then when I look at the imprints, and I'm sorry, the truth of your motivation is numbers.
Of course, which is business and money.
Exactly. So you're looking at how do you sensationalize an X problem,
Right.
without being able to understand that it has a consequence. And that's the unfortunate part of what technology is.
And then we're at an office party for the holidays, Sim, and someone goes, did you see the podcast, or did you hear the YouTube video with so-and-so, and they were talking about this? And you must be like, oh, no.
Yeah. Well, if they go, this could have been an email, they
it's a
I should trademark that, actually.
Yeah, oh my God, it's fantastic.
Yeah, you can use that, actually.
Please. I recommend everyone, Horizon Within with Sim Chabra. Check it out, horizonwithin.ca. Office Christmas Party Anxiety when ChatGPT is not enough. If you want a complimentary consultation, 905-871-5502. Speak to a human being like Sim, and maybe just you might find out it'll help you a lot more than ChatGPT. Sim, happy holidays. All the best over the holidays and the new year. And Merry Christmas. And I just loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.